At this moment, I invite you to set some intentions for today's practice, or you can even dedicate this practice to someone or something. But whoever you dedicate it to, or whatever your intentions are, make sure you honor those intentions. Take a big sigh out. And after your next deep inhale, I invite you for a collective Om. Inhale in. Ah. Namaste. Let's get to it. Make your way onto all fours, and we will begin from a tabletop posture. Your shoulders stacked over the elbows, elbows stacked over the wrists. Fingers are spread wide. Index fingers are pointed towards the front of your mat, parallel with the outer edges of your mat. Tops of the feet are pressed into the mat, and your knees are hip width distance, stacked directly underneath your hips. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears. Gaze is towards a single point in between your hands. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the tailbone, and shift your gaze forward for a cow pose. Exhale, press against the mat, round your spine, and shift your gaze over to your navel. Inhale, make your way into cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale back to tabletop and move your body in a circular motion as if it were a marble in a Coca-Cola can. Move it in the other direction. And this is just a nice way to lubricate everything, get the blood flowing. It's early morning. Return to tabletop and press your bum against your heels, extending your arms forward for a child's pose. I introduced this posture early on because it's always available for you if you feel short of breath, or if you feel that one of the poses is not part of your practice or not quite of your practice yet. And this is child's pose. Curl your toes under and press your hips up and back for your first downward dog of the day. Drive those heels towards the earth. Long line of energy in the spine, letting your head hang. Try and kiss those armpits. Option to walk out the dog, stretching one leg, bending the other. Begin to slowly inch your hands back to meet your feet. Once you meet your feet, round your spine, bend your knees, and slowly articulate up vertebra by vertebra until you reach the top and roll your shoulders back. Begin to step forward, one step at a time, feeling the ground beneath you, shooting energy up through your feet and resonating through your body. Once you reach the front of your mat, make your way into mountain pose and establish Pada Bandha with your feet. Pada Bandha could be either with your toes together and your heels slightly spread apart, or with the outer edges of your feet parallel with the mat and your feet at hip width distance. I prefer it with my toes together and my heels slightly spread apart. And you're also rooting down on the four edges of your feet with your toes nice and soft. Activate those leg muscles. Bring the tailbone underneath your torso. Palms facing forward. Shoulders drawn away from the ears. Chin parallel to the earth. By actively aligning yourself, activating those muscles, you're giving yourself better posture and training your body to stand properly in anatomical position. Inhale, take your arms to the sky. Reach them as high as you can while drawing the shoulders down away from your ears for an extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, swan dive. Welcome to bend the knees here as we're looking for length in the spine. You can even grab your elbows and wiggle it out a bit. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Creating an L with your body and a micro bend in the upper back. Exhale, place the hands on the mat. Step the left foot back. Step the right foot back. And make your way into a plank pose, Palakasana. Bring in the tailbone underneath. Shoulders away from the ears. Rotate the elbows outward, externally. And lower halfway down, bending at the elbows. And release. Place your fingers at nipple height and press against the mat for a baby cobra. Exhale, release. This time, push all the way up for an upward facing dog. Tops of the feet press against the mat. Your heels are not splaying outward. Your knees are not on the ground. Exhale, drop the knees, curl the toes, and press the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next inhale, of your next exhale, shift your gaze forward, bend your knees, and lightly step or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, place the hands on the shins, extend the arms, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, all the way to extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring the hands together at heart center, Samastitihi. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the bum, bring your arms up towards the sky, long line from the tailbone to your fingers for a chair pose. Knee pointed over the second toe, rooting down on the four corners of the feet. Exhale, fold forward for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the ground. Step the left foot back, step the right foot back, and lower halfway down, bending at the elbows into a chaturanga. Roll over those toes as you inhale up to an upward facing dog. Shoulders drawn away from the ears, micro bend in the upper back, avoid dumping in the lower back. Exhale, drop the knees, curl the toes, and press the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. Tap into your Ujjayi breath here. That's that audible breath. Inhale, take the left leg up and bring it through your hands. Drop the right heel so that your right toes are pointed towards the top right corner of your mat. Your hips are neutral. Rise up to a warrior one. Left knee bent at 90 degrees. Hips are neutral. If you're having issues with the hip neutrality, place your hands on your hips. Pull the left hip back and the right hip forward. Exhale. Hands on the mat. Step the left foot back and lower halfway down to chaturanga, bending at the elbows. Inhale, roll over those toes and press up into an upward facing dog, legs active, knees off the ground. Exhale. Drop the knees, curl the toes, and press the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, extend the right leg up and bring it between your hands. Drop the left heel and point the left toes towards the top left corner of your mat. Right knee at 90 degrees. Rise up to a warrior one with your hips neutral. Avoid dumping in the lower back. You want to have a long line of energy here. Exhale. Hands on the mat. Step the right foot back. Lower halfway down, bending at the elbows into a chaturanga. Inhale. Roll up to an upward facing dog. Avoid dumping in the lower back here. Exhale. Drop the knees. Curl the toes and press the hips up and back to a downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees, shift your gaze forward, and lightly step or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the bum. The arms up to the sky for a chair pose. Rotate the pinkies inward. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees around, all the way up, back to active alignment in mountain pose. Now let's shake it out. Shake your legs, shake your arms, shake it all out. Make your way back to the front of the mat. Bring your hands together at heart center. And begin to shift your weight onto your left foot. Making the right foot rise. You're on the four corners of your left foot. You're hinging at the hip, folding forward. Making your way into a warrior three. Micro bend in the upper back. Extend the arms, and drop the right foot down on your toes for a crescent pose. Drop the knee down on the right, drop that right knee to the ground. And extend the left leg. And making your way, pressing your bum onto your right heel. Inhale. Back forward. Exhale. Move it back. Inhale. Forward. Exhale. Take it back. Inhale forward. And rise up to a warrior two. Right toes are pointed towards the right side of the mat. Left knee bent at 90 degrees. Right knee with a micro bend. Shoulders are soft. Arms out to the side. Gaze is over to your left middle finger. You're finding strength and ease here as you tune into your breath. Drop that left elbow onto the left thigh and reach over for a humble warrior. Inhale, rainbow the arms back into a reverse warrior. Gaze over to your left middle finger. Left knee still bent at 90 degrees. Right hand on the right hamstring. Inhale back up to warrior two. Extend the left leg. Heel toe. The right foot closer to the left, shortening the distance. As you reach forward with your left hand, you reach back with your right hip, and you drop down into a triangle pose. Placing your left hand on your left ankle, and your right hand goes high up to the sky. For a triangle pose. Inhale, rise up. Place your hands on your hips and rotate the right foot 90 degrees inward. So now your feet are on train tracks, making our way into pyramid pose by hinging at the hip, folding forward, hands on the mat. Option to use a block here. Inhale, rise up, and step the right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale, hands up to extended mountain pose. With your hands active, imagine a ball of energy being held in between your hands. Exhale, bring the hands together at heart center, Samastiti. Begin to shift your weight onto your right foot, the four corners of your right foot, with your left foot hovering off the ground. And start hinging at the hip, folding forward, warrior three. Your gaze is at a single point on the ground. Extend the arms and drop the left foot down to a crescent pose. Drop that left knee down. Inhale, shift your weight towards your right thigh. Exhale, shift your weight back to your left heel. Inhale, move forward. Exhale, shift the weight backwards. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, shift the weight back. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Take the knee off the ground and rise up to a warrior two. Rooting down on the outside edge of your left foot. Right knee's at 90 degrees. Micro bend in the left knee. Hips are pointed towards the left side of the mat. Arms are out to the side. Gaze is over your right middle finger. Drop that right elbow onto the right thigh and shift your gaze over to your left middle finger, which reaches over the top of your body for a humble warrior. Inhale, rainbow the arms back for a reverse warrior. Right knee up 90 degrees. Left knee with a micro bend. Gazes over your right middle finger, which is reaching over the top of your body. Inhale. Rise back into a warrior two. Strength and ease here. Extend the right arm. Extend the right leg. Heel toe. The left foot closer to the right, shortening the distance. With your hands out to the side, reach forward with your right hand as you reach back with your left hip. Drop that right hand down to the right ankle. Reach the left hand up to the sky. Triangle pose. Inhale, rise up. Place your hands on your hips and rotate that left foot inward 90 degrees. Your feet are on train tracks now. At hip width distance, both pointed forward. Hinging at the hip, we're going to make our way into a pyramid pose. Micro bend in both knees. Place your fingertips on the mat or on a block. Inhale, rise up, and step the left foot forward. Inhale, rise up to extended mountain pose. Bend the knees, drop the hips, bring the hands together, and bring your right elbow outside your left knee, outside your left thigh, and twist over to the left for a twisting chair pose. Avoid dumping in that right shoulder. Bring your hands out to sternum level. Exhale, release. Make your way back into a chair pose. Bring that left elbow outside the right thigh. Hook it and twist to the right. Knees are even. Hands are at sternum, even with your sternum. And avoid dumping in that left shoulder. Exhale, release. Bend the knees around the spine and rise back up to a mountain pose. Heel toe your feet outward so that the outer edges of your feet are even with the outer edges of your mat. With your hands together, bend your knees, drop your bum, and make your way into a malasana pose. Pressing those knees out, pressing down on the mat with your feet, and raising your hips up, bringing your shoulders underneath your back, interlacing your fingers, and your chin is by your sternum. Your arms are rooted from pinky to shoulder. Exhale, release the interlace. Remove the shoulders, raise the heels, and drop your back down, starting at the upper back, then the middle back, and the lower back. Inhale, bring the knees in, up towards your chest. Your elbows go inside of your knees. You grasp the outer edges of your feet with your hands. You root down your tailbone, root down your shoulders. Press the feet up towards the sky through your hands while pulling on the feet with your hands. For a blissful baby, also known as a happy baby. Welcome to rock side to side here, massaging the lower back muscles. Bring the soles of your feet together and drop your feet down, creating a diamond with your thighs. And you can rest your hands on your inner thighs, adding to the force of gravity, weighing your knees down to the ground, opening up those hips. Remove the hands, extend the legs, and melt onto your mat for Shavasana. Let your body fall as it may. Let the blood go where it needs to go. Let the oxygen flow where it needs to flow. And just enjoy as your body absorbs all this medicine. Let your feet fall as they may, your hands, your lower back, just complete relaxation. And think about who you dedicated this practice to. Think about your intentions. Evaluate if you honored them. Your shoulders are drawn away from the ears. Bring your palms together. Bring your palms flat on the earth in front of you. Return to Sukhasana with your hands at heart center. Open up the windows of your eyes. And after a deep inhale, I invite you for a collective Om. Inhale in. And even with the Om, it should start with your mouth as wide as you can, saying ah, and then going over to the O. And then the M should be very vibrational, ringing through your body. How about we try that again? Inhale in. Ow. Thank you for letting me guide your practice today. It was kind of detailed. I wanted everyone to better their technique within the postures and learn the techniques a little better so when you do the practices on your own, you're avoiding injury and you're doing them properly and making progress in your practice. If there's any questions, I invite you to write them in the comment section or any comments. Looking forward to them. Have a nice day, you guys. Cheers.